Listen, if you're a broke guy, avoid me. Avoid me like a plague. Don't even talk to me, okay? You see a sharp girl like me, you look me up and down finish, you won't come to talk to me, and you no get money. Avoid me like a plague. You hear me so? Avoid me. If you're a broke guy, avoid me. I don't date broke guys. You see, my hair alone is so expensive. Can you afford that? Can you afford my nails? Can you afford my... This has become the trend on social media. When you log in on social media, it is always avoid me. If you're broke, I don't date broke guys. I don't do broke guys. Look at fine girl like me. I'm cut out for the soft life. If you're broke, avoid me. I don't do broke guys. Like, when has being broke become a crime? I asked that question. And you see, when something persists over time, it gradually becomes a norm because it forms a subconscious or unconscious, idea in people's mind to believe that that is the standard, or, that should be the standard. And, people run with that idea, and we know that reality is not always the same as, fantasies or idealism. Why am I saying this? We woke up today and we saw in the news a story about a young Port Harcourt student in University of Port Harcourt who was unalived by her boyfriend.
Are you going to tell us? I'm not carrying the phone now. Come on, take care.
Open everything.
And literally, cut into pieces like meat for money rituals. So heartbreaking. Like, you often hear these stories almost on a daily basis that, it's now becoming alarming. Like, where is our humanity as a people? That's always the default question that many people who still have their consciences and humanity intact would ask when, they hear stories like this, right? Where is our humanity? That is the question. But then it also asks why the prevailing occurrences of these kind of incidences successively within short periods. We are going to try or attempt to kind of answer these questions, okay? Welcome back. I'm Virtue Grace, the African storyteller. If you're coming by for the first time and you don't know me, that's who I am. I tell stories about Africa or stories from Africa, and I also travel across Africa from time to time. Welcome. If you've not subscribed, kindly click on that subscribe button, and when you do, tap on the bell and select all. That way you will always be the first to know when I post a new video or I do a live stream. And for those of you returning my red loves, thank you guys so much for always coming back. I love you guys so much. Okay, now that has been the story in the news, and it's making the waves. Different reactions as usual. You have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're in a relationship basically, and the expectation is that, oh, there should be love, or there's love, and there's understanding, there's a feeling of safety, of protection, and all of that with the person you are with, right? But unfortunately for this lady, that wasn't the case. I mean, she was in a relationship, and going by some of the video clips that are making the rounds on social media, she was pretty much happy, being with the guy, a happy, beautiful young lady, an undergraduate for that matter. And then we wake up one morning and the story is that she has been unalived by the boyfriend and cut into pieces for money rituals. Wow. Why? Like, the question is why? Why would a boyfriend who claims to profess love to his girlfriend do this kind of thing to her? And then you also think about this girl's family, just how much pain they are going through, knowing that their daughter, their sister, or their cousin or their relative was unalived and had to exit this world in such a brutal, gruesome manner by someone that she loved so much and trusted herself into his care. It's really heartbreaking. My heart really goes out to her family. The story goes that the guy who perpetrated this heinous act was caught by their estate chairman when he was about to go dispose of the body of this young lady whom he had unalived and butchered. So apparently they live in an estate. There's something in Nigeria that we call like estates, where they build smaller communities of housing units and properties, and people live in them. So usually those kind of communities are gated, and kind of accessible to everyone who lives within. So it's quite easy to be able to see what someone else is doing, right? So in that kind of setting, that was where the young man was allegedly living, and then while trying to dispose of the remainings of his girlfriend whom he had unalived and cut in pieces, the estate chairman found him, and it was suspicious, and on trying to investigate and ask questions, it was uncovered that that was a heinous act he had perpetrated. So heartbreaking. I can't even imagine any human being having to go through that, or a family member having to deal with the loss of a family member in that manner. And like I said earlier, my heart really goes out to the family. But now, let's face reality, okay? Our realities in Nigeria, in Africa, in the world today. Like I said at the beginning of this video, when you go on social media now, when you interact with people off social media, it's always a recurring trend or idea. As a lady, I'm not going to date a guy who is broke. If you are broke, avoid me. I'm a baby girl for life. I'm not cut out for the difficult life or the hard life. So if you don't have money, don't even talk to me. Now, being poor or being broke has become a crime. Like, people broke shame someone who is not rich. And being rich is actually also like relative, if you ask me. But many people now broke shame or poverty shame men, especially because it is expected that men should provide, right? So when as a man you are perceived as not having or not being wealthy, not being rich enough to provide for your love interest or your girlfriend or family, whatever, as it is expected, even if you are trying in your own way, then it becomes a problem. Now, what would a man be left to do in such a situation, especially one whose moral compass or whose morality is not, up there? He would resort to several other means to make sure he acquires this money. He makes this money to be able to meet society's expectations or standards of him. And some of the things they resort to is like money rituals, like you have heard in this story. I'm not justifying these heinous acts that this young man has perpetrated, but like I said earlier, in trying to understand or attempt to maybe make sense of these heinous acts being perpetrated successively, maybe we need to re-examine our expectations and standards that we have set for men in society. When I talk about these things, looking at ourselves as Africans, previously, it was just enough for a man to provide for his family the basic needs that every family requires: housing, food, clothes. Housing is also shelter, right? Housing or shelter, food, clothing, and those were like the basic, and then other things like education, healthcare, and all of that. That was enough. And there was generally a sense of decorum and a sense of peace, forwardness. I really like it was okay. You wouldn't hear of this kind of heinous acts perpetrated in the past. But as our times have evolved and social media, everything, people now begin to set unrealistic standards, like, okay, you have to be this at this age, you have to have made certain money at this age. And when people feel like they are falling short on these expectations or standards, then they resort to several means, legal or illegal, just to make money. And then we have stories like this breaking in the news every now and then of someone unaliving a girlfriend, a loved one, a family member, a sibling, so many stories. And this has got to stop. We really need to re-examine our values and our standards as society. Is this the way to go? How long are we going to lose people in society just because some persons are trying to make money by hook or by crook? Like I said, I'm not justifying that act, and by all means, the family should get justice, because this is unacceptable by all standards. No matter how much society pressures you to make money, to live up to certain standards or expectations, resulting to criminal or illegal means to make money is never ever acceptable and never should be tolerated. With this expectation, sometimes even amongst peers, if you do not measure up, it even looks almost like a stigma that sometimes you can't even speak when your peers are talking. You can't mingle with them. You feel left behind, and then sometimes people get depressed. Sometimes people resort to all sort of vices just to be able to measure up, just to be able to make money. And then even like fellow women like me who say, well, I will not date a broke guy, when they now eventually meet a nice person, just for the sole reason that this person does not have the kind of money or is not rich the way they expect, it's not a person that they are going to consider, even if this person is a good person and has prospects. The expectation is just make money and spoil me. So when they eventually meet a guy that has the money, a guy that is rich, even if they do not know the source of wealth of this person, it's okay. They go on, and then we get to hear stories like this. But you see, the irony is that in this particular incident, the guy doesn't even look like he's a rich person, but he's probably trying to make it by all means, even if it means unaliving someone's daughter, just to be able to achieve this goal. That's the deception that society is now leading people into. Okay, you can do this and make money, quick money. People no longer want to engage in legitimate means of making money. By all means, I have to make money. I have to hammer. I want hammer. My mates don't hammer. My mates don't buy Benz. I want drive Benz. I want to, all sorts of goals, unrealistic goals. There is dignity in labor. There's time for everyone. At your own time, you are going to make it. Put in the work, trust the process, and be patient. When your time comes, you are going to shine. You are going to make this money. And let's also face the truth. Not everyone came into the world to be wealthy or to be rich. Some are just destined to have just enough to survive, to go by. That's the reality. We might not want to accept it, but that's the truth. Contentment is one important virtue that we all should pray for or cultivate. Even my fellow women, let's give people a chance, okay? And let's give ourselves the chance as well. What makes you feel that you cannot be a rich woman yourself and let a man marry you as a rich woman? You can also be a rich woman. Do not always wait for a man to be rich before you marry them. I know people will come for me now. What do you mean by that? Okay, so should I marry a poor person even when he doesn't have and I have more than the person? Maybe that's how you were destined, But hey, what do I know? And in such cases like this, right, guys, there's something that people sarcastically call others understanding girlfriend. When you are a woman, a lady who has decided that, okay, I see potential in this person. Even though he is not rich, even though he's not wealthy by society's standards, he is okay. He's a good person. He's someone I want to date. He's someone I want to be with. People will call you understanding girlfriend. Oh, understanding girlfriend, no, they get anything. Understanding girlfriend, now you go suffer, now you go tire. Sarcasm, that makes you feel bad that, am I doing a wrong thing? Am I doing a bad thing? Where is our humanity? When have we used money as the yardstick to give people opportunities in our lives, to judge people? Money is fleeting. It comes and goes. But who a person is what holds more promise of a longer life. Okay, the person's values, the person's principles, how do they align with yours? Those are the things that you should look out for. What are the qualities? Compassion, kindness, honesty, integrity. Those are some of the qualities that we should use to judge people based on, and not what they have or do not have. Because like I said, these things are fleeting. They come and go. Yes, you would say people also change, but someone who is fundamentally themselves, who has worked on developing their character, will remain who they are no matter what comes. And those are the things that are more important than wealth. Okay? And I'm not saying it is wrong to aspire for more. As much as possible, aspire. Everyone wants the good life. As far as it is legitimate, it is okay. When it becomes illegitimate, then that becomes the problem. And you find that it becomes like a ripple effect from wanting more to trying to get it by all means, resulting to illegal means. And then you see that people get caught up in the process negatively, like the story we are talking about now. We can do more. Honestly, when I talk about this, I just say, well, I honestly feel like we should reconsider the ways of our forebears, our forefathers, how they did life. It was so much easier, like it was so much better. People judged and related with people based on who they were, not based on what they had or didn't have. And I feel like maybe that's how we should go back to doing life. And it would be much better. It might be much more better for us that way. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. The story got me really so bad, and I felt like sharing my own opinion about it. What do you think, guys? Drop a comment, let me know. And like I said earlier, my heart really goes out to the family of this young lady. I pray that you find justice for her, and I pray that you find consolation in this really painful and trying times for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. And if you came by for the first time, you've not subscribed, kindly click on that subscribe button. When you do, tap on the bell and select all. That way you will always be the first to know when I post a new video or I do a live stream. And for those of you returning, thank you so much, guys, for coming back. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, healthy, below abide. I'm Virtue Grace, the African storyteller. Bye. Mwah.